Hey, how's it going? This is Shamboy Pupanza. You can see me in various videos where I dispel several myths the mainstream media tries to promote. What I'm tackling today is a narrative the media tries to push that the divide between Americans is that of Democrats against Republicans. Actually, the real divide lies between ordinary people, regardless of their political party, against establishment politicians, along with, of course, the members of the corporations that own them. Indeed, the American people, whether they're Democrats or Republicans, have much more in common than what one thinks and than what the media tries to portray. Most of them, Democrats or Republicans, are against interventionist wars, fracking, and the outsourcing of jobs through trade agreements. Most of them are also very concerned about the increased economic divide between rich and poor. In fact, if they knew to what extent the divide has become, they would be even much more frightened. And most of all, they absolutely want to get money out of politics, regardless of their alleged party affiliation. The opposite is the case with establishment Democrats or Republicans, who also have much more in common than most people think and what the media tries to portray. Contrary to ordinary people, and again regardless of their political affiliation, the establishment elites generally support interventionist wars, fracking, and the outsourcing of jobs. They both avoid class-based rhetoric, especially the use of language and policy labels that might openly emphasize or reveal the conflicting economic and political interests of the working class versus the privileged class. And especially, they refrain from even mentioning the significant increased economic divide between rich and poor. Yes, they do talk about the disappearing middle class, but that's very different. In part because it doesn't at all reveal how the top 1% has benefited so much from this divide. That's precisely one of the things that made Bernie Sanders so different. Furthermore, contrary to public perception, income inequality has increased over the past 30 years regardless of the party in the White House. In fact, it's increased most under Bill Clinton, a Democrat. And most importantly, the establishment politicians have absolutely no intention or will to get rid of money in politics, regardless of their alleged political affiliation. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some values which Democrats and Republicans don't share, whether they're from the general public or the establishment. For example, on issues like affirmative action and abortion. But how important are these issues really compared to the values they do share? For example, if you're pro-choice and it just so happens that pro-life legislation is passed, I would think that you would probably be much more upset if the reason is due to the will of a few wealthy donors rather than the will of the majority of the people. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think.